everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to another day in my 2022 holiday card series. We're mass producing again, but this time I am going to be making a true hybrid card. I'm going to be stamping an image. We're going to be doing some ink blending. I'm going to be scanning and blah, 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 blah. We're going to be doing all the things. I wanted to make thank you cards for you guys. So every time someone places an order, whether they order one card or they order 20 cards, I always include at least one free card. And normally it's just something out of my stash. And I thought I wanted to make dedicated thank you cards. Thank you cards. They don't actually say thank you. Dedicated thank you cards. Not only that I can send to you guys, but also offer them in the shop if that's something that you're interested in. So we're going to be stamping, ink blending, all the things. So, and the Etsy shop is linked in the description box down below. I've been trying to add cards about every other day and as fast as I can craft, really, to be quite honest with you. So if you purchase, I really do appreciate it. As I've mentioned before, it's going to help bills, etc. And this is really the only time of year that I have it open and raring to go. I'm going to be looking into changing platforms. Etsy takes almost 25%. Like out of my last couple of orders, I made less, like I made 40%, like I got 40%. 40% was profit. The rest was Etsy fees and shipping. So it makes it hard to be a small business. Kudos to those of you who use Etsy as a platform year round. Because most of my cards are, I keep it open year round, but for the most part, Christmas time is, and the holiday times is really when I have things going. I apologize, I always forget. So anywho, that's enough jabber jabber. Etsy shop is linked down below. Let's head over to the craft table and I'll walk you through these cards. So we're going to be creating with this stamp set. This is a really cute thank you stamp set from Darcy's that has these two cute penguins. I'm going to use the one that has its arms outstretched. Initially, I thought I wanted to put a banner that said thanks, but every time I sized it, I just felt like it was way too small and you couldn't read the words. So I completely changed course, but this part was definitely something that needed to get done. So I just cut down a piece of my Copic friendly paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I found kind of the middle, and I stamped 5 or 6 penguins. I honestly can't remember. And then I stamped on a piece of Eclipse masking paper to make a mask, and I'm cutting it out here. Then I am bringing in some distressed oxides. Here I had 2, like Spun Sugar, and the other one's Kitsch Flamingo or whatever. And I couldn't decide which pink that I wanted, but I decided on the softer pink. I wanted both backgrounds to be more pastel rather than kind of in your face. So I'm just using one of the brushes to add ink around the little penguin to give it a little bit of a halo, and you can see there how cute it turned out. Absolutely love it. And my thought with these was to do a cool gray, a warm gray, and then like a black. And so that's what I kind of ended up doing. This was definitely the definition of a hybrid of hybrid cards, because I stamped them, did the background, and then I scanned them, and I'll show you with that in just a little bit. So next I'm going to bring in, I think this is tumbled glass, and we're going to do a couple of blue backgrounds. But yeah, I wanted the background to be soft, and I wanted it to be pastel, and I wanted it just to be like a small halo. I didn't want to do a big background. Again, I am making these for thank you cards, not only to send out to you guys, but to also offer in the shop if you guys are interested. So I wanted to make sure that that they, like, there wasn't a whole bunch, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted them to be kind of simple, but still really, really cute. The Darcy's stamp sets are adorable. Like, if I could own all of them, I sure would. So I'm going to go ahead and color them. I forgot I colored them first. So I am just starting with the darkest color at the bottom and then working my way to the top. I got this one a little bit darker than I intended, and it scanned really dark. I still like it, but if I were to redo it, I would go a little bit softer. So I'm using T8 and then every other marker going forward. I like I said, I wanted like a truer black, kind of a cool gray, and then a warm gray. And it's not a whole lot of blending. It's really just like starting at the bottom and then working my way to the top. And it's just easy, simple coloring. And you can see how cute this penguin pops off the background. I just love it so much. I love penguins. I think penguins are adorable. They're not my favorite. Like, my absolute favorite is probably otters, with cute sloths followed by a close second. But otters are so cute. So stinking cute. Love them. Love, 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 love. And I accidentally picked up the wrong marker. That didn't help either. That did not help either. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second one. And I think the issue I was having with the other one is, I think I mentioned that I have a package of white paper. I think I stamped on a paper that wasn't Copic friendly. And that's why I was having some of that bleeding and it wasn't blending the way that I wanted to. So note to Misty, do not combine your Copic paper with your other paper. So I have marker paper, which is the Hammer Mill 100 pound. And then I have layer paper, like card basic paper, like thick paper. And I believe that's the Nina 100 pound. And then I have really light copy paper that I use for the inside layers of my cards, because if I do a dark card base, I always put in a white layer just so somebody has room to write their sentiment, stamp their sentiment, etc. I tend to leave my cards kind of open-ended. This is the first time I've probably really ever added a sentiment, and both of the sentiments I think turned out really, really cute. I like the font that I used. So these turned out just as I had them in my head, and that doesn't happen all the time. So I'm really glad that it did. But yeah, so I just kind of put all of them in one package, and I've clearly learned that lesson. So they're separated. I have a little 3-drawer system on my crafting desk. Like the top one has my marker paper, the middle one has my Nina, and the bottom one has my specialty paper, like the paper that you can use with the alcohol markers, watercolor paper, black paper, all those things are in that drawer. So I need to learn not to put them together is the moral of this story. I really love this dark toner gray on the pink. I think that turned out really, really pretty. So here I'm just testing my markers. I have a couple that are on their last legs. I tried to re-ink them, but clearly they ran out of, like, what is that called? The core dried out. So once that happens, you kind of have to just get a new marker, which is fine because sometimes a new marker is less expensive than getting the refill. But yeah. So I'm coloring with Copics, but you don't have to color with Copics. You can color with anything. I need to do I have a video in mind where I want to color with crayons, and I need to pick the stamp set that I want to do that with. I also asked in my group, and I can ask you guys here, I am considering doing card kits. So one thing that I miss about being with Stampin' Up! Is I used to do classes, and they were product-based classes. So you would buy the product, and I would send you free stuff to make cards. And I really miss that. But the issue is I don't have, I'm not a business. I don't have a tax ID, etc. This is just my hobby. So it's not like I could offer, buy wholesale stamps or whatever and offer it at a lower price. So what I think I'm considering is creating card kits. One of the card kits would be with images that are already colored. So like with clip art, like the Doodlebug images. And the other one would be the exact same images, but it would be line art. So you would have the option of having, just needing glue. And then you have the option of being able to color them. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of that. They wouldn't be very expensive. I haven't sat down and priced them out. I haven't sat down and figured them out yet. But if that's something that you guys would be interested, put a Christmas tree in the chat in the comments, and that'll let me know what you guys think. I also posted the next poll in my Facebook group about what you guys want to see next. So be sure to check that out. That is just on in my Facebook group, and you can find the link to that down below. No worries if you're not on Facebook. I basically just post stuff in there And sometimes I get opinions because I want you guys to have input. So I'm just using like C1 and C0 to color the inside. And this is one of the markers that is an issue. You can see just how dark it is. It should not be that dark. So that's why I put it over to the left side, because that is one that's definitely going to be replaced. And that might be the only bad thing about Copics is like, you really don't know if it's the core that's dried out until you've added a refill to it. And like I added a refill to it, then I changed the nib and added a new refill, or added refill ink to it. And I was like, oh, yeah. So for the lighter color penguins, I used a lighter orange for the beak and their feet. But for the blacker or darker penguins, I went ahead and used a more vibrant orange. And again, really, really love how these turned out. Now I'm going to take these and scan these before I color the scarves. And I'm going to color the scarves in 4 different colors. So for this one, the black ones, they're getting 2 different reds. So like a deeper, darker red scarf, and then 2 green scarves. So I'm starting with the deepest color and then moving to the lightest. I don't really pay attention to like light sources and stuff like that. I just think like I'm not creating a masterpiece. I'm just trying to make a cute card. So I mean, I know some people like really focus on that. And my nativity card from a few years ago, I really did focus on that. But for the most part, if I'm just coloring cute images like this, I just want it to look blended and be pretty. I don't really concern myself with light sources, etc. For the most part, I'll try to color the top of the head darker that way, or lighter, that way it looks like it's coming from the top. But yeah. So you can see kind of where I I scanned each of these, so each of them separately. Then I pulled the images into my Silhouette software, and then I just sized them down to 4 by 5 1/4 and put them all on one sheet. And I did that for each of the colorways. That way I could have 4 to a sheet, I can print them out, etc. So once I get done with these, I'm going to scan them again. So if you don't have a scanner, you'll have to do these, just do them by hand and do up several of them. But I have a scanner and it just makes life easier for me. That way I can just scan them and I can print them out. And like I said, I added sentiments to some of them I didn't. And that was pretty fun. And I did all of that in my Silhouette software. And the Silhouette software is free. They have a basic edition that's free. And there are probably a million tutorials on YouTube on how to use a Silhouette machine, etc. I still don't know all of it. And I upgraded to the designer edition. So I really need to watch some tutorials. Excuse me. So I'm going to stop jibber jabbering. I'm going to add some music and I will catch up with you when we're ready to make the cards. Okay, so I took those to my scanner, added the sentiment. Again, I use Silhouette software, and I am just using the kind of scan lines to cut these down. And I am cutting down each one to 4 by 5 1/4, and then they're going to go on the white note cards that I have. I'm going to do that to all of the ones that I printed. Next, I'm going to bring in the card bases of the note cards I picked up off Amazon. I think the last time I checked, they were out of stock. But if you just search A2 note cards with envelopes on, or any size, if you like A4, if you like, 5 by 7, you can find note cards with envelopes on Amazon, and just kind of pay attention to the weight of the paper. I always read the comments to like the reviews to let me know if people thought it was too thin, if people thought it was too thick. And because there's always card makers who leave comments, or reviews. Thank you very much for that. I need to get in the habit of that. I'm so awful. I mean, I read a ton of books, although I've been rereading the same 3 books for the last month. So I love to reread books. I just enjoy it. Okay. So anyway, I folded them, and they are folded at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then again, these are cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I am just getting them adhered. And once we do all of that, of course, I'm going to have to add some shimmer. Excuse me, oh my word. It's been a little bit cooler here in Texas, so the last couple of days we've had our windows open. And when we do that, I really enjoy it, but my sinuses and my allergies go, hello, we've missed you. So I always sound like I'm going to croak. All right, now I'm going to bring in my Nuvo shimmer pen. This is toner, so it's not going to smear, but sometimes when you start the Nuvo pen, it will drip a little bit, and it did that on one of them. But yeah, I really like how these turned out, and these have gone out to people who placed an order. So this will be a free gift for you guys if you place an order in my Etsy shop. You will find that and all the other pertinent links linked down below. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are, and I love your faces. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.